What's up, guys? Back at you with some more content. Today's video comes from the JRE podcast, and it's Joe Rogan and Dave Atell, and they're talking about the alarming amount of smash and grabs in NYC. So we're going to go ahead and get into this conversation, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while I'm rolling the video. Now let's get into it.
So let's go there. Maybe we'll stop a smash and grab. That'll be great. We can kill two birds with one stone.
I saw a smash and grab today on YouTube. It was wild. They just went into this store and started ripping cell phones off the walls.
It's definitely not Ocean's 11. These kids, they're freestyling it.
Crazy. And they're all wearing masks, which you're allowed to wear now.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, how are you going to catch them? You like made wearing masks okay. So everyone's wearing a mask and they're just running in there and stealing shit.
This stuff is like, honestly, it's like I never thought this was going to be on the other side of this, but
yeah, he has a good point, though. Now wearing a mask is normal. Although everybody doesn't wear it, wearing one is normal. I was just at the store today, and I saw people wearing masks. Now, I don't know how it is in New York. We're going to find out more about that in the conversation. But at least in Chicago, or in the Chicago area, the Chicago suburb area, the smash and grabs they've decreased a lot. It was really bad in the summer. That's when it was really bad. The summertime was pretty bad. The last few years, it was a lot of smash and grabs, but that's cooled down over here.
The thing that's really getting me now, and I think you probably will agree, is that, like, you know, I don't know, I hate to be hacky and do kind of a joke, but it's like, I didn't know as Americans we have the right to, like, go to a fast food place, and if there's something wrong, we can hop the counter and beat a man to death. Like, I didn't know that. Whatever happened to just eating what you get or walking away? Like, for somehow this is like some kind of honor killing. You have to confront this man, this poor kid making $7 an hour. You have to confront him and, like, you know, whatever. It's ridiculous. I never thought I would live to see that. It really blows me away.
There's nothing like a late night fast food barn brawl.
Well, this is not like a punch up, like, hey, what's up? What did you say to me at the rodeo? You know, hey, this is like full tilt, like.
But those barn burner brawls where people, like, everybody's piling on top of everybody and smashing, like a barroom brawl,
like an OK Corral,
fight at a 2 a.m. Waffle House or something.
Yeah, and I've even seen that this stuff is happening not only in malls and in designer shopping centers and things like that. It's happening in, like, convenience stores. I've seen a bunch of people, I think, in a 7-Eleven just running amok, all up in the 7-Eleven, just taking stuff, knocking stuff over behind the counter. And it's like he said in the beginning, this ain't Ocean's 11. Like, you going in and you stealing food, not even something that's valuable. You commit crime, you could get locked up potentially over some food. But at the same time, there's so many people going in there and doing this stuff, they're not going to catch everybody.
Then, you know,
the IHOP, everyone's favorite throwdown joint.
There's something about getting drunk people late at night in those fucking places.
And the poor people that work there, honestly, it's like they should be getting combat pay. You know,
how often do you see a brawl at a fucking Waffle House if you work there? Like every other day.
And the people who do work there are like shell shocked. They're like, got that 1,000-yard stare. It's like, what are you having? You know, and they're like looking, like checking the corners. How about just the fact that, like, there's no late night food anymore? Everything closes early. People are afraid to stay open.
What is this one?
The guy who had the axe, he pulled an axe out of his bag.
Yeah, that was in New York. That's one of ours. This guy took all these punches.
We reacted to the axe video on this channel.
Why is he getting beat up?
I don't know what happened. It's like the same normal thing, you know, like a fight at McDonald's at night.
Then he pulls out the axe.
Like, oh, yeah?
Yes.
I'm from New York.
The axe man.
He starts fucking everybody
This
up.
guy. And here he is.
That's him?
They talked to him afterwards. Yeah.
Right on the street. Right on the street.
Look at his ears. You got the holes, giant holes in his ears.
This guy is ready to go, man.
He had an axe with him.
He probably just walked away after that.
Yeah. You can get him at Home Depot. That's what he said.
He might be in trouble.
Might be.
It seems like not good. But he did show a little bit of restraint letting those dudes punch him.
Yeah. No, it was the whole thing of, like, that's all you got. He kept saying, that's all you got.
Viral because of that, but
fuck,
that's just another day in New York.
The Wawa in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
See that video? It's hilarious. This lady goes, are you going to make sandwiches or are you just going to keep recording them? She wants her sandwich made.
Can you believe it?
The dude's behind the counter, and she's so nonplussed by this chaos behind her. She's like, are you guys going to make sandwiches or are you just going to keep recording them? I want a fucking sandwich.
See,
I don't care about this.
That's amazing because, like.
It's to the point where it's normal. You got smash and grabs going on in a Wawa, and you just want your sandwich made. That's crazy. and this was in Philly. Philly ain't too far from NYC.
When you're not from Philly, you love a Wawa. You're like, man, this is so much better than 7-Eleven. This is so much better than everything. And then for them to desecrate it like that, oh, terrible.
It's the craziest like group.
Yeah, and that's honestly what these kids not thinking about. When you go in and destroy stuff and you take stuff, yeah, sure, you get something out of it. You get something yourself, but it's selfish because now in the future, if this place is closing earlier or it closes, then it's potentially hundreds of people or however many people out of a job now, man. Feeding their family off that money.
Activity in a store that I've ever seen because they all just decided to go nuts.
It's
and it's
mayhem.
not a small amount of people. It's a
mayhem.
lot of fucking people. And they're just grabbing shit off the shelves and throwing shit on the ground. Look at this girl.
Yeah, she wants
just wants a sandwich.
But
see, now my question is, what happened to the butt whoopings? What happened to the ass whoopings? Because that's what all these kids, that's a prescription for all of them. It might be a little too late now, but that's definitely what they needed. Growing up, I'm pretty sure my mom and grandma both agree with me, and probably a lot of people watching. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. I remember my mom telling me about a time when you couldn't even go outside. If you went outside, the community was so connected and knew each other. If somebody's parent saw you acting out, they might whoop you, or they might take you to your parents' house, and then you get a whooping at your parents' house. That is just gone now. It's gone. Nobody is accountable for nobody else's kids now. It's just let them just go crazy because you don't know. Because nowadays kids got guns. It's a crazy situation.
at least you beat the line. While everybody's distracted.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
Where's my
Philadelphia police said they found approximately 100 juveniles inside the Wawa, but made no arrests. Why would you arrest somebody? I mean, why make an arrest?
That happened to me when I was at a 7-Eleven here. Just one guy, though. I was going to walk to pay for like a Snickers bar or something, and as I was going to walk up, he just grabbed something and walked right out. And the lady's like, it seemed like it happened on a nightly case, like a nightly basis.
Oh, yeah. No,
sure
they
it does
can't
now.
stop
Didn't
them
have
now.
anyone there to protect her.
I'm sure people just steal things now because in certain places, like in San Francisco, if you don't steal $900 worth of stuff, they don't even do anything.
They don't.
So
Yeah.
it has to be more than $900 worth of stuff. So people.
That's wild. That right there is wild. I think I'm pretty sure they passed that. They passed that in Chicago. I think it got to be, or in Illinois or something like that. Maybe Chicago, but it got to be like $1,000 worth of stuff or something like that. If they didn't pass it, they working on some sort of criminal justice reform type of bill out here.
They're going in there and just stealing whatever the fuck they want. As long as it's not $900 worth, they just leave.
In New York, like that happens so much that like you'll see it happen, and then like they'll try and be very like woke about it, like hey, people need things, whatever, and then you'll see the same guy from the news selling this stuff like on the street, like walking down. You need some Tide because they're trying to make some money, but at the end of the day, that store will go out of business. Like they'll shut it down. Like
Right.
I mean, they are a company; they got to make money.
Right.
So 5 people lost their jobs. There's no neighborhood store now for people to get. So the whole idea of like, no one's really getting hurt with this is not true. It's really incredible to see how bad it is,
It's a
Yeah, and I mean that's the deflection or the defense for just not wanting to deal with the problem head on. But that's why you got to deal with problems as soon as possible before they get bad, because now these kids 16, 17, 15, they're not listening to their own parents. They're not listening to authority. They're not listening to you. They're not listening to no one.
wild time, Dave.
It is wild times. They really are wild. And, I feel like I'm too old to boost, like I don't have it in me anymore.
When you see how were you around in New York in the 90s when it was crazy in Times Square?
Yeah.
Is it like that to you or worse?
I think that maybe because I'm older and I'm a homeowner now, I'm like, what is going on
With
here?
these kids.
Yeah, these kids. But I think that this is just a sense of entitlement of people allowed to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, like driving like mopeds on the sidewalk, doing all that kind of stuff. Hey, if I feel like, driving erratically, I'm going to do it. If I feel like walking down the street holding like a piece of metal and yelling at people, I'm going to do it.
It almost seems like the standard now is no standard. There's no standard. Someone can act however they want to act. There's going to be someone out there excusing them for it.
walking down the street holding like a piece of metal and yelling at people, I'm going to do it because it's more of a hands-off kind of scene in New York now, you know, like just basically like we're not going to get involved until like actually something happens. So, you know, if you got like young kids or a business or something like that, you really are in a bad place at the wrong time, you know?
Jesus.
Like outdoor dining there and guys come up and just start screaming at you, rip something off your table, you know, that kind of thing. I always tell the tourists that come to this, I go, watch out. And I'll go like, you know, the way you're holding your bag, don't hold it like that. It's too easy, you know, like put it this way. They get a little like, whoa, I didn't know it was like that. And the subway's a whole different world down there, you know, that's like, you know, basically.
The subway's wild.
Yeah.
The subway's wild. It's wild to be contained. Did you see the video of Renzo Gracie getting in a fight on the subway?
That was cool.
He said he fucked his knee up. I ran into him like...
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I ran into him like, I guess a week and a half or so later.
Talk about a great situation for what he does. I mean, like, that's it. You
exactly.
Know? You know?
And what a terrible...
Those who don't know, Renzo Gracie is a famous, legendary jiu-jitsu MMA fighter.
Move by that guy. Just tell him to speak English. He's like, my friend, you know.
He did the right thing, though, right?
Yeah.
He's like trying to de-escalate.
He didn't even hurt him. He just threw him to the ground and controlled him and put him in a stranglehold and let him go.
Right.
And told him to apologize.
Well, I don't know if you know.
There it is right there. Like, out of all the people to fuck with, you fucked with Renzo Gracie. That's such a huge mistake. He just controlled him. The dude's trying to punch him, and Renzo's on top of him. He's like, no, son, you're not going anywhere. Head and arm control, half guard, puts a smush down on him, and he's strangling him right now.
Wow.
That's why you don't fight in the street. You never know who you're dealing with.
That's
it's
great.
just a terrible, terrible mistake.
They didn't
out of
roll
all
onto
the people
the tracks.
in the world. Oh my God! Thank God they
Yeah,
didn't.
that would've
That's what's
been-
so scary.
that would've been really
pushing
tough.
people on the track shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing about that kind of stuff, like, yeah,
Yeah, that's New York, man. That's just the way it is. There's a lot of towns like that now, just like where it's like, oh, I guess that's the way it is. Have you been to Portland lately or no?
Portland's wild. Now,
Yeah.
huh?
Portland is so weird that like the Helium Club, they're a very cool club, you know, and that neighborhood is kind of like, it's like the Warehouse Art District or something like that. And, you know, they have serious like housing problem there. It's very sad and all that stuff. But I talked to somebody who like, you know, like whatever, who lives there. And I go, so these people are allowed to, you know, put up like whatever they want, wherever they want. And he goes, yeah. And they really, you know, like the sad thing is like fires, you know, like something will happen and like, you know, it could catch fire. So
They're
like,
cooking meth in a tent.
could be.
Yeah, they're cooking meth in a little plastic house. What could go wrong?
So it's like, talk about like, you know, I don't know, like you didn't see that coming.
And obviously this stuff happens. This stuff happens all over the nation, right? But you gotta just be honest. It's the top, you know, the top liberal Democrat-run cities like New York, Chicago, Portland, you name it. It's those cities where you see this common stuff happening. I got a cousin that's a cop in Houston, and it's starting to get crazy out there too. You know, you got a lot of people moving to Houston. But I guess with the New York smash and grab and all this crime, I'm wondering, because at least the way it is in Chicago, a lot of people think Chicago is terrible, and I'll admit it's not great. In terms of crime, it's not great, but if you know where you are and you stay away from the bad places, because a lot of the crime, a lot of the violent crime, it happens in concentrated areas that you have no business being. I'm wondering, is it like that in New York as well, where you just shouldn't be in certain areas, or are people just outside downtown in the nicest areas just getting robbed? I don't know.
And
No one saw that coming.
I didn't see it.
Someone just filmed it the other day and sent it to me that they were in Portland and showed me this road they went down, and all the tents, and how crazy it is and how dense it is. It's like, wow, you're not going to do anything about that? You're just going to let that happen? Doesn't that seem like a fucking safety hazard, a public safety hazard, a health hazard, all the above hazards? Isn't it litter? It's also litter.
It's litter. It's like in New York, they have the outdoor dining. Have you seen these things?
Yeah.
It's like
little cabooses. that
like
go outside.
it's like a manger.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's like basically it's like, you know, you might as well do a reenactment in there. You know, but like they were having like people having sex in there and all that because we're all making jokes about it and everything like that. But it's like, why wouldn't they? It's like too tempting. I mean, like, why wouldn't you?
There's no one in there with you.
You gotta, you know, like christen it basically. You know, make it your own. But it's just like filthy and I don't know. I guess, you know, if people really want the grunge of New York, you're seeing it right now.
Do you still?
Yeah, I mean, I went to Los Angeles 2 times, and I tell you, it's dirty out there. And each time I went, it was worse with the homeless and the litter and you see rats and roaches. It's not the way it looks on Hollywood, but yeah, man. I mean, so hey, you know, it's people that like to give a pass for poor behaviors, but me personally, I don't think it's nothing wrong with calling stuff out. More people do need to call stuff out. You know what I'm saying? There's the whole no snitching stuff. I don't think it's beneficial, helpful at all to society, man. I don't know. It's a sticky one. It's a tough situation, but that was it for the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on the video. I'm out, guys. Till next time, peace.